So my name is Jeremy Charo. I manage the maintenance estimating department, as well as the estimating for enhancements, small construction, and the bigger piece of my job is just special projects. So I work really closely with our VP maintenance, also with our regionals, much of our branch managers, and the biggest part of my job is just to get the initiatives that they come up with, the things that need to be done, but they don't quite have the time to do them. So from there, they give me the outline of what essentially we need to do, and they say, figure it out. That's been really cool. It's probably my favorite part of the job, is figuring all those puzzles and stuff like that. Going on 4 years now. So yeah. So when I started off, I was just doing regular maintenance estimating. They essentially gave me Go Island and they said, figure out how to use it, and that was it. And from there, we got decent with it. We started getting some more business developers. They started sending more properties, and then we needed help, where Attentive came in eventually. Someone reached out from Attentive initially. And at the time, we were using another automated measuring platform, and I had traumas. I didn't really like the process of it. I didn't trust the accuracy of it. So I kind of just blew it off and never went anywhere from there. A while later, someone had reached out to Jeremy personally, and he called me over and he asked me about it. And I was like, yeah, sure. I mean, let's do it a little bit. Didn't really pay too much attention. He was like, all right, well, let's sit in on the meeting. So we got with Sean. We had a little call. Sean convinced me to give it a chance, try a couple of properties, and I think the first property I came back with like a ton of notes, and it was about Sean, this is why I should do it. These are all the reasons. And Sean set up another call, and we sat there for another hour and a half, and we went through each individual reason, and we fixed them one by one. And I was like, man, you guys are invested, like, whole wide world of this. I was in, and that's where it took off. So like I said, when I first started, I was doing Go Island. I don't know for those who have used Go Island, but it's very accurate, but it's very time consuming. Measuring each individual object and every linear foot of everything, and it takes a lot of time. That was essentially stunting our growth because we could only put out as many estimates as I could measure. At the time, I was the only estimator, so there wasn't anything to do with that. Then we wanted to bring 2 more people just to carry the load of it. In that time, there's been times where I was back to being the only estimator, and because we had Attentive, it didn't slow down. It was just, I was still able to send in all the properties that I needed, and my job went from manually measuring each of them to making small edits and then entering into our data software and stuff like that. So, I mean, it's crazy how efficient it's become just to not have to worry about measuring each individual thing. Obviously, in being able to spit out more estimates faster, the trust that our sales team has with us is phenomenal now. So they send us sometimes that are unreasonably asked, and we can still get it done because we have that extra hand. The Attentive team's been super, super helpful with picking up those things that I don't even expect a yes when I ask about it, and then the next day they're like, here you go, here it is. And it's been super profitable overall.
Well, when I first started, I had to measure everything by hand, which took a few hours to do, like by hand by myself. And I made a lot of mistakes too when I first started. And Attentive really just made that go by really fast. And I can do a lot more work in a lot less time now because of it. It really helps me, and I honestly don't think I'd be valuable to this company if I didn't have it, because I would take way too much time to do everything.
So the biggest thing was customer service, right off the bat. One of the main issues that I had with previous auto measure platforms was that the issues would be brought up, and it would just go nowhere. And it was frustrating to think that things were going to get better, and then it was just like stuck in the same thing, doing the same long processes to fix problems that were there and stuff like that. So when Sean was able to show that the team actually cared enough to work on those problems, work on them quickly and efficiently, and get them done, and then come to me with feedback like, hey, is this done correctly? Because this is a good idea and I like this. Like, is it right? That was what essentially drove me and saying, like, yeah, we could definitely do this. the decision to switch to any platform with a company of our size, it's difficult. It's retraining a lot of people, getting out of old processes and breaking bad habits and stuff like that. So it's a big change for us. But it's been good. And like everyone that we've shown it to, they all like it. I haven't had any lazy complaints or anything. And just like with that same interaction the first time, the team from Attentive has been there every step of the way. It's been really helpful.
It saves a lot of time. It's very accurate. It sometimes makes guesses on things that I wouldn't have thought, and they're correct. And it kind of could clarify things a little bit.
So the speed is the first part of it, right? Obviously, this can measure way faster than I ever could dream of. It's very accurate. It's as accurate as I can be. And there's a few features that Attentive has that other platforms didn't. So to split by mower size, that takes a huge time cycle for me to actually go through and figure out each piece and say like, all right, well, this is all going to be 21-inch mower, and it's going to be 48-inch mower. So to have it done already, where I only have to worry about doing frequencies and stuff like that, it makes it a little bit easier. And then as I started to separate by frequencies, I saw that there's also a feature to separate by frequencies, which also made it easier because less time for me to go through the RFPs and break it apart and separate everything out. So for those larger, more complex jobs, it's really just like, hey, here's the map, here's the boundaries, here's the RFP, and it comes back the way I need it. That frees up so much of my time. And with my position, everything's about time. It's all about how fast can I do something, how effective can I do it, and how efficient can I do it. I mean, that's what separates it from the platform side of it. Then of course there's blueprint measurements. Now I'm sure we'll get into that a little bit. It's fantastic, for the same reason. So when I first started doing the small construction stuff, I was doing PDF exchange. I don't know if you ever used it. It's a lot like Go Island, to be very accurate, but it takes forever. And there's no feature to add everything up. So as I was doing it, I would have to like open an Excel sheet and make a formula like equals sum of hover over the first object, this, type it in manually, plus the next object, type it manually, and do that for the entire thing. That process alone was taking hours of time for every single property. And then this one came through and it was like, nope, here's your totals. Do you want it in Excel? Do you want it in the PDF? Here's a link for it, however you need it. And that made it super helpful. Some of the conversations that we've gone through were to aggregate the total, so it wasn't, you can pick it out by sheet, you can pick it out by the total for the project, however you need it, to break it down as specific as you need it, and that's all been really fantastic. It's really great coming to y'all with problems because I know they're not problems, they're puzzles, and your team's very quick figuring those puzzles out. Everything that we've asked for so far has been met every single time.
The Attentive is very helpful. I don't really have many issues that come up that I need solved caused by Attentive. And when I have issues, like if I have too many properties, a past experience is I can send them a list and it'll all get done really quickly, which is very helpful.
So I think industry-wide, I see this only growing and having more potential. Even in this area of town, it's constantly growing. We're starting to develop new areas, and every property needs some type of landscape. It's been really interesting to see not only the growth that the industry has been having, but also the sustainability. So when COVID happened, it was crazy. And people were going out of business, restaurants were in trouble. I never feared for my job here because there was always something to do. Construction's still going on either way. And it's comforting to be in an industry that's going to last. I think that the businesses that are going to survive are going to be the ones that are embracing technology. When I first got here, the people they had doing estimates were still using Excel spreadsheets, and kind of like we went to a property and just like, it's about 30 hours, and that was it. There was very little checking to see how profitable it was going to be. There was money lost constantly in different jobs. Sometimes we made money, sometimes we didn't. And I think that property managers are a little bit better about not losing money than we are when we're bidding. we are definitely getting our bids to people faster than other companies are that are still spending their time measuring everything manually. I think I read a study that was saying that the first person to turn in their price has like a 30% higher chance of winning those bids all around in every aspect. So for the companies that are embrace technology and are trying to figure out a way to use it to the best of their ability, they're going to be left behind. And the ones that are going to continue riding that wave, exponential growth, are going to be the ones that are learning how to use it and opening up their minds to it. Like you said, it all starts with accuracy, right? So if the bid is messed up from the beginning, job's going to perform poorly, and then you're either going to be cutting corners or you're going to be losing money. Either way, it's a losing job for us. So being able to get that information quickly and still have it accurate is the name of the game. As far as efficiency goes, once you have a platform like Attentive that you can trust to give us accurate measurements in the time that we need them, it's a lot easier to build processes based on them and know that it's going to come in time. So instead of saying like, okay, we have a huge HOA and it's going to take us 7 days to measure it, we don't need to worry about like pausing all the other jobs to prioritize this one, because we know that we can trust that platform, so we can bring that in and continue the process like everything else and keep everything moving fluidly. So all of that kind of intertwines, and as we have steady growth, good processes built around the pieces that are helping that steady growth makes it a lot easier to the dreams. Everyone needs to, because it's the only way it's going to continue that growth. It would be fantastic to be taking over the entire industry by ourselves, but it's not sustainable. So you need competition. Competition needs to be on our level, otherwise it's boring. The companies that don't know how to use technology is going to be left behind. So they kind of need to jump on that train, whether it's automated mowers, AI measuring, blueprint data, like all of that stuff. It's going to help that growth. And I like seeing us as an industry grow together. Because I think we have massive potential.